it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, January 28th. So today we have the moon in Capricorn energy going void, of course, at 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're locking into Aquarius energy at 2:32 p.m. again Eastern Standard Time, and that will be throwing us into the new moon window. We have the new moon in Aquarius popping off on the 29th, and so the minute that we shift into that Aquarius energy, we're moving into the dark phase of the moon. Again, get your new moon Capricorn lunar phase guides out, because we're going to bring that to an end. We're in the old moon phase, so you really want to capture what's going on for you at this particular point in time, because with no illumination in the sky, we're sitting in the shadows, we're sitting in the darkness, realizing what isn't working, really analyzing what needs to stay, what needs to go. And of course, the frustrations of what isn't working will turn into the seeds of intentions that we will be planting under this new moon in Aquarius. And of course, we'll be kicking off a brand new manifesting cycle. If you haven't gotten your new moon in Aquarius moon guide as of yet, I'm going to recommend you do that so that you can kind of see how this particular energy transition is going to play out for you. And of course, figure out where this moon is going to be popping off in your own birth chart so that you understand the manifesting energies that you have to work with for this next month. Now, interestingly enough, we have 8 different aspects taking place here today. All 8 are going to involve the moon, which officially makes this a moon day, a day for emotional refinement and realignment. And of course, the transition from Capricorn energy to Aquarius energy is always welcome, because of course, the earth energy of Capricorn has us very aware of our physical body, of our, let's call it external circumstances, where the restrictions, where the limitations are alive and well. And then the minute that we bust into that Aquarius energy, we're acting as the observer, thinking outside of the box, coming up with solutions on how we're going to free ourselves, liberate ourselves from a lot of the limitations and restrictions that, of course, very much in our face as the moon transited through that Capricorn energy. So it is going to be a day where we are going to kind of put things in a different perspective, how we're feeling about things, how we're observing things, what we need to kind of fix, heal, and resolve in order to move on and absolutely make some progress. So with all of that being said, we kick off the day with the moon still in this Capricorn energy, trining, which is a beautiful interaction with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who is still retrograde in Taurus energy for the next couple of days, of course, going direct on the 30th. If you haven't listened to January's energy forecast, going to recommend you do so. We have major pop-offs taking place here this week. I would also encourage you to take a listen to the Ascension forecast for this week so that you understand where this energy is manifesting in your physical body. Uranus is in his rulership as well over Aquarius season and is about to take the throne again over this new moon in Aquarius that we are about to have. The moon in Capricorn trining with Uranus means that we're working with like-minded elements. This is earth on earth action. So we're definitely taking a good look at where it is that we've been resisting, making some of the changes, detaching from people, places, and things of the old world, of that old version of self, and where it is that, again, putting things into perspective and really getting real and raw and vulnerable with ourselves. We know that we got to boss up. We know we got to do the hard thing, which just happens to be the right thing, which is to disconnect, detach, provide endings and closures, if you will, in order for us to move on and move forward. This Uranian energy gives us a new mood, gives us a new attitude, and instills in us the little bit of rebellion that we're going to need in order to boss up and kind of rebel against the limitations, the restrictions that we've been facing, and of course, put ourselves in a situation to override those old emotions, that old way of looking at things. And when we do that, suddenly we have the pep in our step needed in order to, again, make the changes in our inner realm needed so that we can feel encouraged and supported in making the changes in our physical realm. The moon in Capricorn then goes ahead and sextiles, which is a beautiful interaction with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money in this Pisces energy. She's heading into her pre-retrograde shadow period. That's right. Venus will be retrograding here this year. If you haven't listened to the 2025 year ahead overview, going to recommend you do that. January's overview as well. And of course, there is a mini course to help you map out where all of these retrogrades, where these major transitional energies are taking place in your own chart. Venus is definitely going to be one to watch because, again, Mercury and Venus will be retrograding together. Right now, though, we are in love with love and we are romanticizing our lives and we are very nostalgic and we're very much sorting through the memories, the hopes, the wishes, the dreams of the past. And of course, we are purging, releasing a lot of the heaviness, the weight, the emotional and mental weight that we have essentially experienced and therefore accumulated and therefore continuing to carry into present day moment. We have to let it go, especially where old relationship dynamics are concerned, where old self-esteem, old self-worth is concerned. We have the new version of self that we're working with. However, there's a lot of junk, a lot of gunk from the past, still very much clogging up our energy, kind of putting us in a situation where the new version of self can't fully emerge until we do the work to kind of fix, heal, repair, resolve some of the emotional issues that we have kind of, been carrying into the present moment. This particular energy, because Capricorn and Pisces energy works very well together, whatever we can dream up, we can actually bring it to life. And so, yes, we are kind of, changing our worth and our values and our priorities within ourselves. And we're starting to realize what needs to stay and what needs to go. And we're starting to realize what we want to build and create in our physical realms in order to basically have the realm and reality that not only looks good, but that feels good to our soul self. So whatever it is that we're realizing, we're able to actually logically, practically strategize around what needs to be done due to that Capricorn energy. The moon in Capricorn does go ahead and make a very awkward interaction with Jupiter, though. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. And of course, he is retrograde, looking back, revisiting, reanalyzing, and in Gemini energy, old ideas. Old information, old wisdom, old knowledge from some tough love life lessons that, again, we're failing to pluck out the silver linings and integrate into this present moment. And of course, we need to do that in order to avoid falling into the same loops, falling into the same patterns, if you will. Jupiter is looking to expand upon old ideas, old perspectives, old information and knowledge, but at this particular juncture, we're kind of confused on what that looks like. And because the Capricorn energy is very attached to wrapping up the past, we're having a hard time thinking about the options and opportunities for growth, for healing, for expanding upon anything, because again, the junk and the gunk, the debris, if you will, of the old world, of the old version of self definitely needs to be cleaned up before we can pour all of our time, energy, and attention into something new. So at this particular juncture, with this particular interaction, we're not feeling so hot. We're not feeling so optimistic. We're not feeling so confident. Instead, the negative narratives kick in from that Capricorn energy. And instead of seeing options and opportunities to move on, to make some progress, to see some growth, we're kind of fixated on where it is that we feel stuck, banging our head against the wall, again, doing the same old, but yet wishing, hoping, praying for a different result. The moon in Capricorn goes ahead and sextiles, beautiful interaction, with Neptune, who of course is in his rulership in this Pisces energy. Again, we have Pisces and Capricorn energy working very well together. Of course, Neptune in this Pisces energy is very dreamy, very imaginative, very creative, very fantasy-like. We are definitely in the metaphysical realms, tapping into our higher selves, aligning with our intuition, receiving insights and downloads on what we want to build, what we want to create, what we're being called to do, what we're being called to pursue. And we're able to emotionally and mentally put the pieces together, articulate what needs to be done, understand what needs to be done, and of course, start making those initial steps in our physical realm on how we're going to bring this goal, this vision, this dream to life. It is at 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that the moon in Capricorn is going to go void, of course. And while he's void, he's going to be making a beautiful interaction with the North Node in Pisces. So again, we have a beautiful option and opportunity at this particular juncture to think about the options of growth, expansion, where we can heal, where we can surrender, where we can kind of pour into nourishing our spiritual realm. That North Node in Pisces trying to get us on the right path, trying to get us in alignment with the next phase of our lives, the next chapter, if you will. Yes, there is a lot to release, a lot to process, a lot to detach from. But the Pisces energy is, again, asking you to surrender to all of that, asking you to really believe in yourself, to trust the greater, grander plan. And therefore, because this is a little bit of a refreshment and a renewal to our soul space, we're actually feeling semi-optimistic about what we can actually do, what we can pursue, what we can achieve. And so, again, we're open-minded, open-hearted, and seeing the obstacles, the challenges in our lives at this particular juncture as an opportunity to boss up, to do better, to absolutely be better. 2:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon shifts into Aquarius energy, all up in the headspace, all thinking from the observer type of mentality, emotionally detached from our situations and our circumstances so that we can see all of the moving parts and therefore think outside of the box on how to fix, heal, and resolve some of the issues that, again, became very aware to us while the moon was transiting through Capricorn energy, where we're feeling blocked, where we're feeling kind of restricted and limited in being able to kind of make those particular moves. The moon, now in Aquarius energy, comes up to, bumps into, teams up with, conjuncts Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who of course just shifted into this Aquarius energy yesterday. If you haven't listened to that astro forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so. If you haven't gotten out your January energy guide to capture the major shifting going on in your mental plane, I'm going to recommend you do that as well. And because the moon is our heart space, because Mercury is our head space, because both of them are operating from the highest point of our intellect, the highest point of our, let's call it, observer type of mentality, we have a beautiful alignment taking place. And of course, a conjunction is an ending just as much of it is the beginning. We are starting to see the forest past the trees. We are starting to see solutions where there were only issues. And if communication is taking place, of course, we are operating from the highest realms of intelligence, from that observer mentality, not overly attached to emotions. And so there could be a lot of clear-cut conversations that need to be had, especially talking about the future, especially talking about how we can improve, kind of do things in a better way. We are looking to adopt new methods to doing the old, and we are looking to breathe new life into those old ideas as well. We then have the moon in Aquarius coming up to, bumping into, teaming up with, conjuncting Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is set up in this Aquarius energy for the foreseeable future, taking us all the way into 2044. Pluto, being the great transformer that he is, he takes us through a little bit of a demolition, a little bit of a destructive path in our inner realm to really examine our psyche, to really take a good look at our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, who actually planted them, why we're still cultivating and nourishing them. And of course, we have the awareness and the ability to flip the script on any type of inner dialogue, any type of inner belief system, any type of perspective that, of course, is holding us back, invoking fears and doubts and insecurities. And of course, we want to boss up. That's what Pluto encourages us to do, to take power and control back over our lives, over our emotions, over our headspace, over our mood and our attitude. And so this is a particular point in time, because a conjunction is an ending and a beginning. You could see some darker thoughts and emotions absolutely manifest, but they're not going to stay around for too long, because all of this Aquarius energy, again, we're not emotionally attached to it. We're detached from it, which means that we can observe it as a third party and not be emotionally triggered by it. But also there's a lot of hidden information, a lot of hidden details that rise to the surface of our awareness when Pluto is involved as well. And so this is going to be a major shift in our mood and our attitude and our perspective and our understanding, likely going to manifest, again, the darker parts, the shadow parts of self, but we have every option and opportunity available to us to flip that script in a much more positive way. The day is going to end with the moon in this Aquarius energy semi-squaring, which is a little bit of tension and conflict with Saturn. So Saturn being the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, willpower, discipline. Saturn is the traditional ruler over this Aquarius energy. Of course, Uranus is the modern day ruler. Saturn brings the reality check. Saturn anchors us. Yes, he's in Pisces energy, trying to dissolve and kind of, destroy the old world, the old version of self that, again, was operating on a false belief system that built and created the old world that now we're no longer in resonance with, and now we're trying to move away from. The moon and Saturn kind of interacting in this way, definitely going to feel that clash because, again, we are very futuristically focused with all this Aquarius energy, but the Pisces energy has us focused on the past. We have to let certain aspects go. We have to bring certain topics and themes to an ending, to a close. We have to really kind of process the hurt, the pain, the trauma from a different lens. And again, Aquarius energy helping us to do that as well, in order for us to, again, release that karmic weight, release those particular experiences out of our auric field, and then have the space, have the clean slate to start building towards something new. So although it may not feel so good, it is going to illuminate for us where we have to strike a balance, not only actively trying to put the pieces of what our future realm wants to look like, but also recognizing the parts of our current circumstances that are blocking us from actually bringing said goal, vision, dream, and life. And that means that we have to do a little bit of work to release the purge and get rid of the old junk, the old gunk that, again, the old version of self was very connected to.